Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode. In this episode, I would like to talk about the reason that blocks your courage, the enemy that fights your courage. The first block that will prevent you by making the first step of your journey is fear. Fear of losing all what you have built in your life. Our mindset has been wired in this way to achieve things. We live in a material world and we want to achieve material things. And which better than wealth, status, power describe the material world and the material things? Okay, so basically, especially for women, you don't want to renounce to your lifestyle, to wealth, to benefits and comforts that very often your husbands or your boyfriends is the source of this material world. And therefore, you don't want to lose none of them, and you continue to stay in a relationship full of toxicity, where you fight each other at the same degree. You both may be narcissists, or if you are the one who is abused, in the name of all those material things that you have achieved and you don't want to lose, which may be career. You have worked so hard about that career, that reputation, and you don't want to lose it because that's your life. You identify yourself with the career. Or it may be benefits, comforts, luxury life, and very often, let's say it, you don't want to lose inheritances you are not even entitled to. Okay? Very often, a lot of friends of mine, I have heard them that they continue to stay married only because they want to arrive at that point where all the assets and immobiliar wealth, and then yes, I will leave him. Then after that I will get the divorce, but before I will not give him the divorce. That's the mindset. And it's very funny because to testimony to this kind of confessions of this woman, that it seems really like behind this kind of reason and way of talking, it's so clear to me, at least, that it is the same pattern, the same identical pattern. It is a specific demon in that case that has possessed this woman and make them believe that that is the right choice to do. Of course, we all know that it's not the right choice to do. It will make you believe that it is the right decision, that you have to fight and to stand up for yourself. But actually, it is just an illusion. because it has nothing to do with standing up for yourself. I mean, for example, in my case, I was married, okay? I had the right to to live at our home. Of course, with lawyers, I could find a good lawyer and to get the half of the amount of the price of the house where we lived. I didn't do any of this. Why? Because that house was bought by the money of years and years of sacrifices of my husband's parents. At the moment that you have not put or invest in that house your own money, go, woman, stay back, make a step back. So go, wake up, and don't feel entitled to have things that don't belong to you. Don't be fooled by the enemy, because the enemy makes you have that kind of mindset, that kind of thoughts in your mind. Don't be fooled by him and believe that you are entitled to have any villa, any property that do not belong to you. Because at the moment that you feel in this trap, believe me, you will pass decades of fights, useless, without no end and no meaning. At the end, you will find yourself with nothing, despite all your fights. And that's the strategy of the enemy, because the enemy uses you. I want to explain once and for all the dynamics and the backstage of how the enemy uses the human souls. The enemy is entitled to use only low energies. First and for all, we have to know this. So the enemy cannot use higher energy in your body, in your mind, in your thoughts, in your human vessel. Okay? So the enemy will use only lower energy. Which are the lower energy, the lower frequencies? Do you know that exists a scale of the frequencies of the energy? So the enemy can use only those kind of energy. And he will try to use those kind of energy to enter in your body and in your mind by making you think a lot of thoughts in your minds to convince you that that's the right thing. So he will enter through. First, he will put the fear like a poison in your blood, completely. You will feel invaded. You feel completely covered by fear. Oh my God, I will lose everything. I will lose this, I will lose that, I will die. Terror and fear. And after that will come the desire. This is the revenge. Oh, he did me this, she did me that. I cannot allow. I will fight till the end because I am strong and I cannot allow that. I do this. I. The ego. It makes me laugh so much. So, whatever. So, the enemy will use these kind of strategies to convince you that you are right, that you are completely, totally, reasonably, perfectly at the right logic, at the right actions, at the right, okay? And then and he will use you as long as possible, as long as possible. If you are lucky to have somebody in your life that is a holy person and maybe pray for you, you will have here and there some angelic intersection. So your consciousness here and there will try to make you a little bit come if you have not this kind of luck, if you are alone by yourself and you have to do it by yourself, maybe it will go along for too many years, this kind of battle, that the enemy has sent to you a lot of these soldiers that have the same name, which is fear, revenge, anger, hate. And the enemy will do that until the last drop of energy. He will suck you completely from all your energies. And at the end, and this is, guys, I know it seems so unfair, but this is the funny thing too, because at the end, the enemy has no power toward God. And he make promises, but he cannot do and not decide anything. So he make you promises, you have to do this, you have to do that, strategies, Machiavellism and all this kind of mindset. He makes you feel powerful. Yeah. It is right, it is good, I have to do this, I have to do that. But at the end, he will give you nothing. And so nothing. He has come to you. You have opened your doors to the enemy to enter in your castle. He has made a kind, imagine yourself that when you have all these kind of energies into your body, into your mind, into yourself, is like these energies, these entities, these demons make into your castle, into your temple, a party. They make a party because they are sucking your energies. Okay, for them, that's a party. They are just they are enjoying, they are making their party. And you don't even know that you are not invited in that party. It's not your party. Okay, you are just a servitor. But in this case, a servitor of the enemy. And you don't even know, because they make you believe that you are the king of the castle, the king of this temple, the king of this temple where the enemy come make you believe that he's coming to give you support and the strength and the right discernment, all manufactured, all false. When actually he is coming, the enemy comes only to kill, steal your energy and destroy. Destroy means that at the end, the enemy has no will, no power. At the end, he cannot decide anything because the last word is always of the God. So he has make you promises, but at the end, those promises will not be kept. Okay? So at the end, you will feel drained, you will feel near to dead, with no energy anymore, and without nothing in your hands. I'm sorry, I don't want to be harsh, but that's how it works. And this is an example that I made about all the people that are fighting during the divorce. So they are fighting for economical reasons. Who will get the villa? Who will get the assets? Who will get the children? So possession. They only want to possess. They are possessed by the demon of possession. So they basically don't want to lose control. Let's say it in one word, in one simple word. They don't want to lose wealth, lifestyle, reputation, status. A lot of women are, and I want to say this with this accent because I like to use a little bit the accent of the Russian woman right now. I don't know why. A lot of women are disgusted, literally disgusted by their men. And they don't care. They continue to live with them. People, there are a lot of women in all over the world, African, American, Albanian, European, Italian, French, I don't know. I just make a joke about the Russian women, but so yeah, that's the first block is the fear of losing wealth, lifestyle, reputation, status, power, influence, control. They don't want to lose control. And I'm not talking about influence, power, reputation, about famous celebrities or all that high level positions. When you don't want to lose control, it is applied even in the most simple cases of daily life, like you don't want to lose control to people, to things, to circumstances, and that's the result. In other words, this is called idolatry. So money and status take the place of God, which is abomination for God, in the eyes of God. Abomination. We are not saying that wealth and richness are abomination. We are saying that when you are not able to detach and to have the right equilibrium, the right balance between richness, wealth, and God, when you are not aware that the fact that God comes first and after richness and wealth, that is not balance. God. That is abomination, idolatry. So what do you expect that God will do to you? What do you expect that God will do to you and with you? He will take you away everything because he has to give you a lesson to make you understand. For example, in my case, I have always loved the luxury life, but I've always loved the experience in it. I have never, ever been attached to possess, to accumulate richness, assets, diamonds, all that kind of things. However, I was attached, and I mean, when you appreciate only a certain luxury lifestyle, what happens? Happens that you become selfish, which lead in greed. You become greedy and you ignore the needs and the necessities of other peoples that live in worse condition than yours. And so, which is the fruit of this selfishness and this attachment? Because we don't think about the results of certain habits that we have. Okay? So I repeat it. If I am a woman that cannot renounce to a high level lifestyle, to a luxury lifestyle, well, I'm not doing anything bad to anybody. No, dear, you are doing something bad to somebody because you are doing something bad to yourself. You are simply becoming a selfish woman, which means you are so attached to this habit that you have that you are even aware about that, and you slowly become greedy. And when you become greedy, you want endlessly to possess or to have goods and wealth, or in my case, that I was not attached to possess things and material things. I was simply attached to enjoying the luxury life in general. For me, the experience was important. So I become attached to those kind of experiences. All the other experiences has no meaning for me, for example. When God sees you, that you are not going well, you are not balanced, you are going too much from one side or the other side, and so he sends the enemies in your life. So the enemies operate always by the will of God. It's God that sends them into your life to put you in front of tests that you have to overcome and challenges that you have to overcome, to understand, elaborate, and overcome quickly, or sometimes it takes a little bit. Or when you don't want to learn the lesson and to receive the message by God, which is by God, in that case, you just inflict to yourself a lot of pain, a lot of grief, without even understanding why, because you don't want to understand why. You don't want to learn. You don't want to become a better person. You just want to have what you want, and that's it. Usually, this is the mindset of the narcissist people, which are not bad people. We all have been narcissists at the beginning because, especially who has not been raised in a Christian tradition. And you become selfish, and after that you start to become greedy, because one thing inevitably brings the other. They are the sister and brothers with one each other, okay? So when you start to become selfish without realizing that, you will become greedy after that. And becoming greedy means that certain emotions and energies will enter into your mindset, into your life, which is envy, comparison, and after greed, what comes after greed? Guys, I want to ask you, what do you think? Write in the comments. What do you think comes after greed? You become selfish, you become greedy. What do you become after? What comes after that? What do you expect to become? Yeah. After greedy leads to discontent, which means miserable. You become miserable. Literally miserable, because you will feel a constant lack. You feel the lack of wealth, you lack this, you lack that, you don't have this, you don't have that, you feel a constant lack. It is lack of peace and restlessness. You feel a constant desire to have something, to achieve something. You are not satisfied, you are not fulfilled, because you are in the mindset of the material things, and you will feel fulfilled when you will have achieved a certain degree of career, a certain degree of wealth, a certain degree in family. What is a lot of what can you do to overcome all these kind of patterns and mindset and troubles that we find ourselves in this stage of our life? 3 keys to open the door to the next step: hard work, self-discipline, easy life. Which means hard work, focus on yourself, learn new skills in professional fields, in your personal life. I mean, you can learn to cook. You have never done it, you can start to do it. For example, in my case, I had to open books and YouTube videos about film direction, because my degree is in drama, art and music, and so I thought, why do not master the skills about film direction, about filmmaking and all this? And it was so exciting and so beautiful. I have passed a lot of years by studying every day. I took my old books that I had about all the Italian cinematography, and so you can learn new things, you can master all talents that you have. And self-discipline means diligence. You have to do, and you will do what you say to do. And temperance, you have to avoid all people, old habits, old places, old vices. So you have to avoid. Because Jesus said, be careful Remember the wife of Lot. You turn back, you lost energy. You turn back to your past because you don't want to be detached. You don't want to let go your past and your memories. That's why I think Father Ripperger has said that. He said, be careful because demons can attack you even through memory. Memory, what is it? The demons how operate through memory. Memory is nostalgia about the past that you cannot let go. So you continue to be attached. You have to detach, because if you don't detach, if you don't let go the past, if you continue to get back, you just get completely putrefied, like the wife of Lot. So you lost your spirit, you lost your energy, you lost everything, and so you lost the opportunity to go ahead. Okay, so be careful, guys, about this. It's really important. Never allow yourself to fall into old memories, old habits, old mindsets that don't serve you any good, don't serve you in any way. Okay, because in this way you just make much more difficult for your angels of the Lord that Lord sends to you. You make it much more difficult for them to help you. You are not collaborative. Okay? And the third key that will help you to open the door in order to go to the second step is to have an easy life. One of my friends, when we were talking, she was complaining so much about money and things like that. And I told her, if you are so stressful, why don't you just lower your expenses and your lifestyle? Why don't you have to ease your financial burden. You have to lower the standards of your lifestyle. Because if you don't do it, if you continue with all the other quotes on Instagram and that bullshits, your standards, and you are the queen, and if you continue with those theories, you are just losing your time. Because at the end, you will come back at the same point. No one can serve two masters. You cannot serve both God and money. So with that said, I let you to reflect about your habits, attachments, lifestyle, decisions, mindset, and all these kinds of emotions and energies that are ruling your life right now. And of course, the main reason why I am talking about this is not to judge anybody. We are all at the same boat. We are all sinners. The point isn't to be judgmental toward others or toward ourselves, to feel full of guilty and so on. The point is to have another kind of perspective in order to be a little bit more enlightened and consciousness, to use it for ourselves, to use it in our benefits, to get free from chains, old patterns to get free from the enemy and to get closer to God. Sometimes it's better to have a little bit of humbleness and self-reflection. It's necessary, it's required self-reflection, to sit down, to pause, to have a little bit of awakening. Wake up. Oh, what is going on here? What I'm doing? What I am choosing? Am I choosing God, or am I choosing to have integrity in your life? And to have integrity, why I said in the last episodes, oh God, finally, thank you for making me get closer to the Bible. Because in every verse and chapter that I read, I can see the life. I can understand it now. I'm not reading it so by just blah, 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 memory. I'm reading and I'm feeling every single moment of my life in those verses of Bible. And when I didn't know the word of God, when I didn't know what does mean to not put boundaries to the narcissist people, which is the enemy, I didn't know better, and I just made a mess with my life. Because we have not made a lot of mistakes, but we have made a lot of sacrifices too. And we are worthy to get to another span of the river, where there is much more light, much more joy, much more peace, prosperity, and all the good things that God has in store for us. Okay, so that's all. I wish you all the best, and God bless you.